Bluff City Media presents the Two Buck Sports Show with your hosts, Rusty Buckets and Uncle Buck. Now, let's get to the show.
What is up, everybody? Happy Thursday here on the Two Buck Sports Show. I am your co-host, Rusty Buckets, coming to you from finally, a sunny East Memphis, Tennessee, after 3 days of mist and rain. And the animals were lining up 2 by 2 out here in front of my house the other day. I'm grateful to be here in the sunshine with my guy, Drew Gann, a.k.a. Uncle Buck. Uncle Buck, what's happening, brother?
What's going on? I am a little exhausted today. Had a long night. I'll talk to you in a minute about it. But had a long night last night with the family. Good night, long night. I'm working on about 3 hours of sleep. And so the sunshine is a good thing because, heaven forbid, if it was another gloomy, rainy, misty day today, buddy, I would get negative work done. I would have to be, eyes would be so heavy. So I'm glad to see the sun peeking out. It kind of gave me a little pep in my step this morning when I needed it the most.
Yeah, this is the thing. Days like today are the days, and I'm not trying to gloat or rub it in by any means, so don't hear that. But, I'm glad I'm out of the corporate rat race in corporate America, and I'm, an independent contractor because I can sleep in a little bit because my old behind stayed up to the end of that Memphis Grizzlies game last night and hopped on a post-game bounce with Kenny. If you haven't watched it, we broke it down. We watched the final quarter together as a group.
Y'all looked like it was about 12:30.
It was. Yeah, and it felt it too, You got the two of the oldest members of the flock here on Bluff City Media staying up till almost midnight for the show, but it was a ton of fun. The comments were popping, a lot of new faces, a lot of new subscribers and folks last night that were like, I didn't know y'all did this. This is great. I'll be back for all the games. So shout out to y'all. Thanks for hanging out with us last night. But yeah, I didn't get to bed till almost midnight, and I was able to sleep in a little bit to about almost 7:30, but I'm grateful for that because I would have been dragging otherwise. Yeah,
there's no doubt. It's hard. I don't want to hear you complain too much. You did sign up for this, so you saw a schedule of 82 games, and your first one that you put your name beside was a 9:00 tip.
Well, it was one of those Arizona things. Nobody else has signed up for it. I'm not going to be able to do many over the next couple of weeks because I'm going to be out of town. I'm going to be at the game on Friday night. So I was like, if I'm going to throw my hat in the ring and do one, you can't ask people to do things you're not willing to do yourself. That's like leadership 101. So, I stepped up, and lo and behold, Kenny, again, other resident grandpa on the network, and I ran the post-game bounce.
Yeah, so I did notice this last night. I watched it back. I kept up with you guys for the last little bit of the game and then watched most of it back this morning. Listen, King Meeks, this is just one of the problems with streaming. There's no way around it anymore. You can't get on Twitter. You have to put your phone on vibrate and face down if you're wanting to watch and react to the game live because the score apps are most of the time ahead of the stream. And every streaming service is different. It just depends on how fast the hamster is on the wheel that they're using. And it never seems to line up perfectly.
And then you add the layer of StreamYard, which is going to be even more tape delayed in case one of us hooligans or y'all hooligans say something that we shouldn't be saying in front of God and our mamas. It does delay us a bit even more. And so we got behind a little bit last night, which is fine. It was still a good time. I ultimately had to put the real app down because it was getting ahead so that I could actually watch what was going on. But we'll get into all that here in a minute on the other side of our Therapy Thursdays, Drew. We're going to talk through how we can help the people and be, all things to all people, not just a sports show.
I'll tell you what, that music.
When he's sleeping.
So, this is our Therapy Thursday segment, our newest segment to the Two Buck Sports Show. We start every show with just a little off sports, whatever we can do to entertain that do not involve sports takes. And so this is where we just let it all out. If you've got anything you want some help with, if you need therapy and need a little counseling from two people with college educations, not in the psychology department, feel free to drop it in the comments. Listen, I feel like I'm a pretty smart guy. I feel like I can give you some advice that's not wholly irresponsible. I'll put it to you that way. So drop it in the comments, and Rusty will try his best.
Yeah, I will. No guarantees here because you get what you pay for on the show, but
Right.
But we will happily try our best. Drew, mine is just going to go back to traffic. A couple of weeks ago, I had the Therapy Thursday where we had somebody give the thumbs down instead of the middle finger to somebody that ran a red light way too late. Well, yesterday I was driving through Cordova. It was raining. I was on Germantown Parkway, and it was gross, like at the height of everything, right? And as I come up to this intersection, there's a wreck on the opposite side. So I'm heading northbound. On the southbound side, there's a wreck right at Germantown and Wolf River. If y'all know, it's in the middle of the medical district over there. Not impeding north traffic flow whatsoever. But my God, did it take forever to get around, because all of the people, I saw phones ahead of me, people taking pictures, taking videos, goosenecking. Like, my Therapy Thursday is mind your business. Like, if somebody had a wreck, mind your business. You're going to cause another one trying to get film for your TikTok or your Instagram. This is the ultimate old man yelling at clouds.
No,
I'm trying to get somewhere. I'm not trying to, I'm so sorry they had a wreck. That's great. I understand you ahead of me are probably some big social media influencer. Not really, but maybe. And you're trying to get clout from somebody else's wreck. Just go on. Just drive. This doesn't impact you or your day at all. Just drive your daggum car.
Yeah, I'm with you 100% on that. It's even worse when you work for a power company and you're trying to get the power on, and somebody's hit a pole, and you're 2-lane traffic, and everybody's just rubbernecking trying to figure out what's going on. Just the worst.
It's just come on, pay attention to what you're doing. This, my mama always used to tell me, worry about yourself, right? Worry about yourself. Don't worry about them. On the southbound lane, on the far lane, over on the other side, not even anywhere close to us. But quit your rubbernecking and just drive.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I share that 100%. So it is extremely frustrating, especially when you're on 2-lane roads and you're the one that needs to get to the place where all these people are log jamming. It's the absolute worst. So, that is mine. I'll take that as well, because I deal with that virtually every day. Because anytime I got to go to work, I've got to get there quickly, and it never gets quickly.
Yeah, it never gets there quickly. But, thanks for putting up with our buffoonery. A little bit shorter today. We are going to take our commercial break now. We've got a lot to get to on the other side. The Grizzlies game. We got some football talk. Y'all bear with us on the other side of this commercial. We'll be right back.
In the heart of the Highland Strip for 27 years, Trilogy Tattoo has helped tell stories for Memphians for generations. Located at 530 South Highland, Richie and his team are waiting to help you tell yours.
From tattoos to piercings, your body art should be as unique as you are. Voted a Memphis Flyer top 3 tattoo shop in the city of Memphis since day one. Your story will be safe here at Trilogy Tattoo.
Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 11, and 3 to 11 on Sundays. They have convenient times waiting on you. Let Trilogy Tattoo help you tell your story.
Anybody who watches my show knows that the whole face of the league conversation is a real eye roller for me. I think it's kind of a dated conversation, in my opinion, man. The face of the league conversations were birthed in a time where it wasn't a lot of exposure to the NBA, right? And for a kid in Memphis growing up in the 80s that didn't have a city that didn't have a pro franchise, the Chicago Bulls were my team.
Yes.
Why? Because you had two choices. Your team was either going to be the Chicago Bulls or the Atlanta Hawks with Dominique Wilkins. And in my eyes, the face of my league is John Morant. Right? Because I have so much exposure to the NBA on my hands. And if you talk about who are the iconic players of an era, it hadn't just been one since Michael Jordan.
Right.
Like right now, it's 3 guys that are the iconic players in the league, right? I think in this next era, it's going to be at least double. It's going to be at least 6 guys that are going to be in that conversation.
Tune in to the Anthony Sain Show Monday through Fridays at 1 p.m. live on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the $2 Sports Show Thursday edition of the show. We just gave you our therapy. We rant and rave, and I'll invite everybody one more time. If you've got anything that's on your mind and that you could use some help with, drop it in the comments. We would love to attempt to help you free of charge. Don't spend a lot of money out of pocket going to a therapist. Just come to the $2.
Yeah, you can send it to our email. You can tag it on social media. We're on X. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. If you got issues, the $2 are here to help. There's no guarantee. There's no money back. We assume no liability, but we're willing to help for a nominal fee, of course.
Yeah, we should probably put an asterisk on the segment. If we ever do it, it's just like Therapy Thursdays asterisk, and then at the bottom in the fine print, it was just like, please attempt at your own risk. Apply to your life at your own risk.
This does not This does not.
Side effects may include nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
This does not act as professional advice. Please do not take it as such. You're a buffoon if you do.
Yeah.
Speaking of buffoonery, Drew, we had a basketball game last night that the Memphis Grizzlies tried their best to give away down the stretch, but ultimately found a way to win to move to 3-2 on this young NBA season through 5 games. Told y'all yesterday we need to flip our record from last year, and we did. We were 2-3 at this point last year. We flipped those. We're 3-2 this year.
I don't know if the opposite of a 67 or a 33.3 winning percentage is a 66.7. I think that's right.
Doubles it.
No. 3 out of 5 is 8. 60. Whatever.
Math.
Why am I even trying?
This ain't a math show.
Why did I start this line of conversation in the slightest? I just told you I'm running on 3 hours of sleep after attending a concert 3 hours away last night.
Listen, you are no Oscar
I'm
Martinez,
in no shape.
You're no Oscar Martinez, who powers his supercomputer with Spanish Reds and Thai food. I'll just say that. But the Memphis Grizzlies won last night, 114-113, in a double win for the Grizzlies, right? We get a win in the win column. We get our first road, and that's another loss, another one. All the way to the Phoenix Suns, giving us an incredible draft pick next year.
That's typically how it works when it's a 1v1 matchup. But I do understand what you're trying to say,
it's a double
given the fact that our second
right?
favorite team this year is the team that is playing the Phoenix Suns. So
and as we currently sit, the Phoenix Suns have the 4th worst, best, however you want to look at it, odds in the draft next year. They're sitting at 4th behind Brooklyn, New Orleans, Indiana, and then the Phoenix Suns are sitting in 4th, brother. Like
New Orleans, man, what are you doing?
Not only are they going to have to surrender that second pick, but that Pacers pick that's sitting at 3rd was theirs as well. So they might have 2 picks that they owned last summer go in the lottery next year and not be able to use either.
What was that trade for?
I don't remember, but it was. I saw that last night. That's why I'm bringing that up.
Yeah, I saw it too, and I thought to myself, so I thought you may have known something. Listen, I didn't get to watch a lot of the game last night. I did catch the end of it in a Love's truck stop in right outside of Florence, Alabama. I was in a Love's with about a minute to go, where I stopped my voyage for some Chex Mix in the middle of the aisle to look down at my phone and see if the Grizzlies were going to beat this trash basketball team or not. And thankfully, Ja Morant saved the game and this podcast from going absolutely nuclear today. It's so crazy how one shot can change your whole mindset about how a game went. You're just like, oh, well, Ja's shot went in and Booker's shot went out, so I guess the win's a win. Great game. You fought hard. If Devin Booker's shot goes in, we are going nuclear for having to be competitive with this basketball team whose second best player is Royce freaking O'Neal.
It just continues. We don't defend very well right now. And Cedric Coward and Ja and everybody are talking about offensive rhythms. I don't want to hear offensive at all. We're in the second rate. We're probably like 3rd or 4th now. Highest scoring offense in the league.
Probably went down further than that. It's such a small sample size right now.
But we're one of the worst defensive teams. We're in the bottom 3rd defensively. Like, I don't care. I don't want to hear about offense anymore. How are we going to stop these teams, especially when – stop if you heard this before, but the Grizzlies had a slow shooting start. Early in the game, it felt like there was a lid on our bucket. We could get anything to fall. Jalen Wells finished 1 for 5 from 3. KCP 1 for 2. He just quit shooting. Jaren was 2 for 6. Ja 3 for 8. We just couldn't find our range, and that was the most frustrating thing, Drew, for me last night as a Jaren Jackson Jr. stan. I'm looking at the season as a whole, not overreacting to last night. He's not been good this year. Before the game,
you've got a 5-game sample size of him being cheeks.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. He's not been good this year.
No,
Before the game, Mike Wallace on the Grind City pregame show said that for the last 3 seasons, he has never gone 5 games in a row without scoring 20 in at least one of them. There's always been one 20-point game he's played 5 games this year, and last night he scored 18 points. That's the closest he's come.
Let me put it to you this way.
Hang on, I'm almost done. He's been soft. He let Mark Williams absolutely rake him and take the ball numerous times. I am the biggest Jaren Jackson Jr. fan on this network, and it's I have a lot of questions about his performance so far this year, especially in light of that massive deal.
Yeah. Okay. When I didn't let you finish, you kind of took my point. I'll give anybody shooting slumps. I'll give grace to anybody shooting slumps coming off of a toe injury, do all whatever. Like, I understand basketball's a game that you have to play with pace, and it's probably hard to do on a gimpy toe that you may or may not have rushed back from. What I will not stand for is just getting punked constantly. That dude is just falling all over the court, grabbing his head 18 times. I watched the game, I told you, and so tell me if I missed something. But in the last 3 minutes, I saw him hit the ground twice, grabbing his head, and miss a crucial free throw, get ripped multiple times underneath the basket. Like, buddy, it's just toughness. It's just toughness, man.
The worst one was he got bodied by Mark Williams, the ball taken from him, and stay down there pouting, trying to grab his head and shoulder.
Yes.
And Mark Williams got a wide open dunk at the rim in crunch time in a 2-3 possession game. It narrowed our lead while he's down there wallering, and Mark Williams gets an easy dunk on the other.
Let me ask you this. Tell me if this has ever happened. A player complaining about a foul or a non-foul call and getting fouled, in his opinion, getting fouled, not being called, him laying on the ground wallering, and by the time the play is finished, the refs go back and be like, you know what? You're right. I understand. You are obviously hurt. Blow the whistle. Foul. It never happened.
It never happened.
It never. So dang it! If you were going to stop playing basketball, because you think you got fouled, then dang it, you better be hurt. Mm-hmm. You better be freaking hurt.
Just in, breaking news on the 2 Buck Sports Show. We have Jaren Jackson Jr. live in studio coming to talk because he's been soft. He's been Charmin soft. Charmin soft. And I can say that as a Jaren stan. I've been a fan of his for a long time, but this is how he's played so far this year. It's just like this Charmin toilet paper. He got ripped by Mark Williams 4 times last night, and I go to bat for this dude all the time. I need him to step up and quit being so soft.
I just can't handle it. I cannot handle grabbing your head, trying to sell a foul, and giving up an easy layup on the other end, and then not coming out of the game because your head's hurt. Is it hurt or is it not? No, if it's not hurt, you're just playing to the refs, and it never works that way. You do not get a foul call 10 seconds after because they realized, that guy got hit in the head. No, it doesn't happen that way.
Meanwhile,
if you're hurt, be hurt. If you're not, play defense.
Meanwhile, Mark Williams is getting a dunk on the other end by himself under the goal on a night en route to putting 20 and 11 on you. Last year when he was with Charlotte, he gave us 38. We have a Mark Williams problem, apparently.
He was amazing in that game.
He was so good. Bum knees and all. He gave him 20 and 11 last night. And I'm just Jaren has got to show me something, because this year, after the massive deal he got this summer, I have been sorely disappointed in his efforts so far. Yeah, semi-massive. Could have been more if he'd been All-NBA last year.
Let me ask you this. Like I said, I didn't watch it. There was a couple things in looking at the box score that I thought I could just quiz you on right now. One, my group message blew up. Cedric Coward ended the game. He had a really good game. The box score says it. What I've seen in clips show that he had a really good game. He had the big rebound in traffic to lead to the Ja Morant game winner. That was a tough rebound in which he was the one that went hardest after it. All right, that's not what I'm going to ask you about. When I look at the box score, I see closed the game. I think he had 29 minutes. KCP had 19 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Did he just get replaced last night?
Yes. Yes, KCP was not shooting the ball very well. He was defending at a high level. He finished with a steal, but he was in a lot of passing lanes. But what it came down to was Cedric was making things happen on both sides of the ball. He hit a step-back three that was just all NBA type step back at the top of the key. He was really good. He finished the night 2 of 3 from 3, 5 of 10 from the field. The guy's never going to shoot below 50%, apparently. And he just put us in more winning positions. Cedric Howard is on your closing lineup, point blank period, and will be from now on. Last night we closed out with Ja, Jalen, Ced, Santi, and Jaren. That was your closing lineup.
That's what it should be.
And Santi Aldama was really good last night.
Yes,
he got angry, and he played really good last night. But Cedric Howard played KCP off the floor because Jalen also had a rough shooting night. -2, 9 points, 3 for 9 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3, like I said. But he was defending his tail off. Devin Booker still gave us 32. You're going to get 30, 35 points from Devin Booker, right? That's just going to happen. But Cedric Howard's welcome to the NBA moment was he stayed with Devin Booker step for step last night. Him and Jalen Wells were put on a masterclass on how to defend a high-level shooter. Again, you gave up 32, but it wasn't 35, and he could have hit that shot to win it. I think that fatigue got to him because they were hounding him all night. Cedric Howard continues to play with a high basketball IQ and a high EQ to where he understands the moment and just absolutely gets after it. Just a great, great, great pooper, man.
I think the one thing that frustrated me was Devin Booker ended with 32 points, and at the half he had 3. He had 29 in the second half, including 16 in the fourth quarter. And I get it. I mean, he's going to get every shot that he wants down the stretch. Who else is going to do it?
He shot the ball 26 times.
But at the same time, who else is going to do it? You've got to force the ball out of his hand. I think that you did a fine job in the fourth quarter. He shot 2 of 5 from 3. He shot 5 of 9 from the field. So you forced him to be somewhat inefficient in the fourth quarter, including a really good defense on. And I don't remember the final shot. Was that Ced that was defending or Jalen?
I think it was a combination of both. They screened off Jalen to Cedric, and Cedric finished it. But a lot of his shots, Drew, and that was like watching the game intently, a lot of his shots were contested. He had very, very few open looks. He's just an elite level shooter, and he's going to make those shots more often than not. No matter, like, you can play great defense on a guy like Book, and he's still going to hit a shot on you. It's just unfortunate. It's an unfortunate nature of the game. But I thought they did a really good job. The two young guys, KCP just didn't have it last night really on either end. He was fine defensively, but I thought Jalen and Ced gave us both a better opportunity to win, especially Cedric on the offensive end.
And I'll say the play that mattered the most was the jaw. I mean, you've seen this 100 times. There's a stat that let me pull it up. So go to my notifications on Twitter. That's where it came to. Ja Morant is 1 shot behind. Where'd it go? Okay, here it is. Per Real Sports, Jason Tatum has 9 game-winning go-ahead shots in the final 10 seconds of a game since 2019, which is the year Ja Morant came in. Jason Tatum has 9. Ja Morant has 8. Jason Tatum on those shots shoots 27%, and Ja shoots 50%.
And Drew, he missed 2.5 seasons in there. Ja missed 2.5 of those seasons.
He is the clutchest guy in basketball right now.
I talked about this last night on the post-game bounce. They made up that BS award so that Jalen Brunson could feel included, all 5'2" of him, the clutch player of the year award.
Easy with the targeting of short people.
Well, Ja Morant is the most clutch player. If this stat doesn't,
Ja Morant hasn't played basketball since they made that award.
I mean, that's it. Like since 2019, again, he's missed 2.5 seasons, and he's still 1 behind Jason Tatum for the lead in the NBA. But he's shooting 50%. How is Jalen Brunson more clutch than that? That is like, I don't see Jalen Brunson's name on this list.
Yeah, so that's very true. This is the one thing I'll say too, and this is a hat tip to T.I. I love not calling a timeout there. The Grizzlies had a timeout to take if they would wanted to take it. Phoenix had none. When Ced gets that rebound, there was no hesitation at all. There was no even thought of calling a timeout. And what that allowed was said to outlet to Santi, and Ja basically targeted the guy that he wanted to score on, and he was able to get himself matched up with Grayson Allen, who just didn't stand a chance. And that's all because a timeout is not called there. You saw that go both ways last season, both times against Houston for the Grizzlies, in which a timeout was called and a timeout was not called.
I was at the one that was called. I was not at the one that wasn't.
Yeah, so big props to T.I. for that, for not over managing that situation and letting Ja just go call 12. Call his own number on that one.
Big win for the Grizzlies as the Beale Street Heat check rolls on 3-2 through 5 games. We'll talk more about the Grizzlies, I'm sure, but we do have some games tonight, and I want to focus on the Magic at the Hornets. Right now on FanDuel, you can get these odds today. The Magic are a 3-point road favorite over the Hornets. But, Drew, it's not going well in Orlando Twitter right now with Desmond Bane. Desmond's had a rough start to the year. You know, he's not quite found his stride in Orlando. Shockingly, they don't have a point guard still, so it's hard to get an offense moving without a true point guard.
Jalen Suggs is playing point guard, right?
Yeah, him and Tyus Jones, and Tyus has stunk. He's averaging like 1.6 points, 1.2 assists. He has stunk. This tweet last night, or this morning, I guess, somebody was crashing out at 2:58 this morning. The Desmond Bane trade will go down as the worst trade in NBA history. 4 firsts for a clown that gets dominated by backups and can't even get a shot off. He looks like a child out there. We will have a lottery pick that goes to someone else. What a joke. That someone else is us, by the way. That's us.
Quite possibly could be us, for sure.
That could be us. But they're crashing out on our guy Dez, who's had a rough start. Currently, Orlando is sitting 6th in the tankathon. With a 9% chance to get the first overall pick, but a 20.5% or 29% chance to get the 7th pick.
And what makes it worse is not fair to Magic fans, but to see that one of the picks ended up being Cedric Howard. Now the Grizzlies ended up trading the Orlando pick to Portland to move up further, so you can't really do that. But to see that pick be Cedric Howard is wild. But at the time, we said that this trade is something that you can't quite you couldn't say no to, and we said that thinking that those 4 picks would more than likely be in the 20s, because there's no way Orlando's not good. And we're not. If you're Orlando, you are not throwing out the baby with the bathwater here. No. You are still playing the long game. Desmond Bane didn't forget how to play basketball. He's going to be fine. He's going to fit in. They'll figure it out.
This is why we're doing 10-game heat checks. Right, we're not crashing out over 1. Nobody, none of us, not in this fan base. But it's not going.
If we'd have lost that Phoenix game last night, I would have crashed. There's just no doubt about it. And I would have been right.
But tonight on the NBA docket, the Magic go to Charlotte, who is still the number 1 offense in the NBA, just putting up buckets. They're a ton of fun to watch. They are currently averaging. Hang on, that's defense. I'll pull it up in a second. But the Hornets are scoring a ton. They're a 3-point home dog to that Orlando Magic team.
They're a 3-point road favorite, is what you're.
No, the Hornets are a 3-point home dog to the. I've shifted to the Hornets. They're currently the 3rd best offense in the NBA, averaging 128 points per game. The number 1 ranked offense in the league. Drew, take a guess.
Is it still Charlotte?
No, they fell to 3rd. They're on your screen. They're one of the teams on your screen right now.
Oh, the Heat put up
Miami
another ungodly number.
131.5 points, followed by the 76ers at 129. Just like everybody saw, the top 3 offenses through 5 games are the Heat, Sixers, Hornets.
Yeah. I would have thought that Philly would be 0-3, and we'd be hearing rumors about another Joel Embiid surgery, but maybe jumping was the problem. He's not jumping anymore.
Well, and they got freaking VJ Edgecombe, who is filling it up as a rookie, and Tyrese Maxey. Those 2 dudes are a 2-headed monster in Philly.
They've got so many guards there because they're not even. You're not even getting any Jared McCain yet. Jared McCain was really good till he got injured last season.
He's still coming back. They scored 139 last night in an overtime win over the Wizards. Sorry, that was Tuesday night. Last night, they're not up here, but I did want to talk about this. Did you see what Denver did to the hapless Pelicans in that third quarter last night? They outscored them 39-11. 11. A professional
4
basketball team
touchdown
scored
difference
11.
in one quarter.
11 points last night. Cam Johnson is awesome for Denver. I'm just going to put that out there. Jokic had 21, 12, and 10. They just beat them to death. But tonight, you get the Wizards at the Thunder. The Thunder are 15, and they're a 2-touchdown favorite at home over the Wizards. The Warriors are a 2.5-point favorite at the Bucks, and the Heat and Spurs. I'm interested to see if Bam can slow down Wemby at all, as the Heat are a 5.5-point road underdog in San Antonio.
One of my favorite tweets. Did you see the tweet of so it was Victor Wembanyama did a jersey swap with a little kid, and so Wemby's holding the little bitty jersey up like this, and the kid is holding up Wemby's jersey, and it's just like dragging the floor. And then somebody quote tweeted it with a draw, and they're like, "I'm just picturing if both people put this jersey on, what it would look like." It's hilarious. They just did it with a pencil.
He would look like DJ Burns in that Charlotte Swarm. They did my guy so dirty. Dirty. God bless him.
It looked like Ezekiel Elliott in the old Ohio State days where he tucked his jersey up underneath his shoulder pads.
Except he'd be built like Eddie Lacy.
DJ Burns, my guy. Like if y'all haven't seen the DJ Burns picture, it hits close to home because all fat people have tried this before.
The pose.
When you know the pose, the hands in front of your belly, because you didn't think that shirt was as tight as you thought as it actually is when you left the house, and then you catch yourself in a mirror in a store somewhere, and it's like, oh crap, this isn't my outfit that I meant to put on.
Daylight
and
hits, you just
stand there with your hands awkwardly over your belt line where with your belly Dunlaps over, and you can see it clearly. It's a bad look for DJ. A friend of ours said he swarmed to the buffet, which is unfair, which is wrong. Yeah, I believe that was old Neezy that did that. And
you got God bless, man. It's just it's hateful, but that's our NBA talk. We'll get you prepped tomorrow on Friday's episode for the Laker game. I will be in the building in attendance for the Halloween spooky night. No Luka, no LeBron. Got to go take care of business on Friday night. And we'll be back with a Beale Street Heat Check. But Drew, what a day in college football it was yesterday. We had quite the day in the state of Louisiana, and we're going to get to all that right now.
I tell you what, I've talked long and hard about the nuances of coaching searches and what makes jobs attractive in the year of our Lord 2025, and what could be an absolute turnoff. And let me tell you what LSU did and what the governor of Louisiana did yesterday was just about wreck the hopes of hiring a top-notch A-list football coach, wooing a coach, say Lane Kiffin or Eli Drinkwitz or one of these up-and-coming, what you would consider home run hires. What you didn't want to do yesterday is do exactly what the governor of Louisiana did.
He got up and just I reference like Billy Madison, right? Like in nowhere in your incoherent rambling, anything resembling a conscious thought, I'll award you no points, and may God have mercy on your. Exactly how I felt. Like I had to stop and listen to it twice to hear the Donald Trump references. Throwing your AD under the bus, like. It was a brutal jumble of words like few have seen before, and the $2 are going to have it here for you.
All right, so sorry, let me get to the starting point here.
That was my bad. My bad. I just threw it up on you.
So this is from Ross Dellinger. Ross Dellinger, who was with Sports Illustrated at one point, he is with Yahoo. So
on 3 in Yahoo.
Yeah. So this is the comments. Jeff Landry is his name. He called the Brian Kelly contract terrible, announced that AD Scott Woodward would not make the hire, but somehow didn't fire him. He has not been released of his duties yet. Said he blamed him for the hire. He said that he hired Jimbo Fisher, allowed Jimbo Fisher to collect a $70 million buyout. Now he's let Brian Kelly collect a $50 million buyout. This is what's funny. We wondered how this happened. According to Jeff Landry, he said he hosted a meeting at the governor's mansion to call about the legalities, the costs, who pays for it, and what's the effect of it. This all happens at the governor's mansion. This is where I wanted to hammer down at. If there is one thing you cannot do when you are hiring a college football coach, it is this tweet right here. If you look, he says, and I'll quote him in its entirety, according to Ross Dellinger, "Y'all reporters need to start looking at who represents these people. Woodward's agent, Kelly's agent, the Texas A&M coach's agent." I'm assuming he's talking about Elko. He may be talking about Jimbo.
I think he's talking about Fisher, Jimbo Fisher, since he was
Jimbo.
hired by Woodward.
They all have the same agent. That's ridiculous. Lawyers would be disbarred the way these agents act. It's time for the NCAA to put guardrails on. All right. This is where we need to hunker down. Because on our bull and bear market, either last week or the week before, on my bull market of stock going up, I mentioned the name of the agent in which he is calling out, and that is one Jimmy freaking Sexton. If you don't know who Jimmy Sexton is in college sports, he is the George Soros. He is the one that stirs the drink. If you want to coach, you go through Jimmy Sexton, and by God, you're going to pay him what I tell you to pay him. And LSU, who is wanting to hire the likes of allegedly Lane Kiffin or think that they're the number one job for anybody, would crawl to Baton Rouge, Louisiana to take this job at LSU. You have singled out, the governor of your state has singled out the biggest power agent in college sports, the guy that can single-handedly take 75% of the names that you want to hire and say, nope, you don't want to deal with me?
The ultimate power player in college football right now.
He is like, that would be like in the 90s, like wanting to build a skyscraper in New York and pissing off Donald Trump. Like, I'm sorry. This is just not the guy you want to screw with here. And he is
the spider
illegal
from Game of Thrones. He is Varys from Game of Thrones, because he's got feelers, he's got people, he's got hands and everything. He makes the wheels turn for you non-football folks. He is the spider, the master of whispers in college football.
And it's so freaking important. This is so complex. This is not 10 years ago where the best players either went to their hometown team or they went for $100,000 in a duffel bag given to you by somebody that's not on staff on signing day. That was simple compared to what this is. You've now got NIL, in which you are crowdsourcing money from fans, from industries, from corporate partnerships, and you've got revenue sharing that is now being implemented. And you've got to trust that this money is being facilitated into your program and out efficiently. And he's now thrown the AD under the bus. The governor's fired the head coach, and now he's overseeing a board of regents, and you've pissed off the biggest agent. There is no way this works out positively.
Two things. Number one, I hearken you back to Mike Leach and what he said about committees in college football. He loves committees. The committees have got people that don't know what they're doing on it. They got one guy who just wants to be on a committee, one guy because he's a buddy. He gave this long, epic tirade around committees back when he was at Wazoo about the BCS committee. Talk
about stupid committees. I've got a friend of mine locally here who said that she was just nominated at the church that they go to be on the committee of committees. This is the committee that determines who's gets nominated for other committees.
Oh, brother, that's a Southern Baptist tradition as deep as fried chicken
on
food on the ground Sunday, man, for sure. Number two, the governor is launching this tirade about the taxpayers covering the bill and all that stuff for Brian Kelly. So, for those interested in keeping up with the math at home, Brian Kelly's making about $9.6 million a year at LSU, right? That's his buyout from here on out. Just $400,000, 4% came from the university's general fund, the part that has any state money. The other $9.2 million, 96% was paid by TAF, a private nonprofit that is fueled by boosters, tickets, and sponsors. The Tiger Athletic Fund is paying the rest of that. In a $2.3 billion LSU budget, that $400K is 0.017%. 0.017%, less than 2 cents per $100. The taxpayers are not paying this. This comes from private donors. So the governor is speaking out of his hind end, as my grandma would say, because he doesn't understand where this money is actually coming from. It's not coming from taxpayers. A small fraction of it is, and 400K is probably too much in some circles. I understand that. But a small, 2 cents per $100 is coming out of the people's bank of Louisiana. The rest has been privately funded. So he's up there lambasting this contract that he ain't got to pay anyway. I understand his points. They still remain that it's a ridiculous amount, that the LSU Tiger Athletic Fund is going to be strapped to pay that. That's for sure. And in ipso facto, the taxpayers are going to have to pay for it if they want to fund the Tiger Athletic Fund in the future. But what a wild time, Drew. I thought I was getting centilled. It was one of those things where I had to triple check to make sure it wasn't AI. Mostly because the Louisiana accent was so thick that I thought there's no way this is real.
You can't AI that accent. One of the first things he said was, heck, I may let Trump make the hire. So he's also going to give his nod to his party brethren at the top there.
He said, I would let Donald Trump make this pick before I would Woodward. And it's just brother, what are we doing here?
Given Woodward's last two decisions that he's most known for, he may not be wrong. But you know what? Me and you may be able to make a better decision.
Brother, what is happening? But it is a broken system. And this brings up the Peter Burns tweet that I sent you that I wanted to talk about in a way to try and fix that, right? Because, these massive buyouts, again, what did we say the other day? They're paying $156 million in buyouts so far this season. And we don't turn the page to November until Saturday. So there's going to be more firings. There's going to be more prolific firings. I'm looking at you, Hugh Freeze. I'm looking at you, Mike Norvell. I'm looking at you, Shane Beamer. There's guys that are probably going to be on the outside looking in. And there are a few other jobs that could go all kind of sideways. And there'll be other big jobs open. But Peter Burns of ESPN put this out yesterday, Drew, and I found this interesting. If they want to overhaul the system and buck the trend that we've seen recently, you could make a deal set up something like this. A 4-year deal with incentives. You get $10 million signing bonus up front. I'm in. Then you get $1 million salary per year as a base salary. Then this becomes a true independent 1099, almost not a true 1099, but in the direction of a car salesman or a salesman, to where you have to earn your incentives. You earn the rest of your salary, which I don't hate. So you get $500,000 per win, $5 million to make the college football playoff, $2 million per win in the playoffs, $3 million per title, a $10 million buyout. So he did the math for us down there at the bottom. If you go 6-6, you're making $4 million that year. It goes all the way up to $20 million if you go 10-2 and win a national championship. I don't think there are $21 million for a 16-0 season, buddy. There are ADs that would line up from Memphis to Oklahoma City, probably all the way out to Las Vegas, where a lot of these betting money is coming from, that would pay a coach $21 million to go 16-0 and win a national championship. I don't hate this, Drew, because it truly incentivizes the coaches to go be great and not sit around and be like Brian Kelly, who was allegedly playing golf and on the beach during the most prime recruiting times, didn't even know some of his staff members or players' names. Something like this is how you can fix the system and make it truly incentive-based.
Yeah, that's a pretty wild thing to
It'll never happen. It'll never happen. But this is how you fix it. Jimmy Sexton will never let this happen.
Well, think of it from two different ways here. All right, so from the colleges, a lot of colleges would make this bet, but those are the colleges that aren't successful to the level of expectations of playoffs. You think Alabama would sign Kalen DeBoer to this contract? Alabama every year would be playing Kalen DeBoer at minimum $15 million.
The caveat to this is you're not going to get a Lane Kiffin, a Kalen DeBoer, a Marcus Freeman at this type, a Steve Sarkisian. But you could go sign a John Sumrall an up and coming, like say a Pete Golding-esque, right? Just using him as an example, right? Like you could go get somebody, because if you remember right, when Saban or Les Miles took these jobs, they weren't the top end. Now when Saban came back to Alabama, he was. But what if you went and found a diamond in the rough, like a guy coming up through G5, somebody that is looking for a chance to prove themselves on a high level that could take this kind of salary? No, LSU is far too arrogant to make this kind of offer for an up-and-coming coach. They're going to go swing for the fences.
No, that's not the point I was making. That's not the point I was making. Is it almost punishes the universities for winning, because at this point, if you do this and you apply this logic to Kirby Smart, he is vastly underpaid in a sport that is now being revenue shared. You are shrinking your revenue.
So if you read at the top, it says this is how you overhaul and fix it. Like you're not like people are not going to get grandfathered into this, because you would owe Kirby Smart and
but
Ryan
what I'm
Days
saying is year one, if you take this and you implement it in the 26-27 season, what Kirby Smart is making now, say $11 million, he would immediately after his first year be making $15 million. And he would make that at minimum every single year because he's going to go 10-2 and make the playoff.
And that's all that's going to do is that's going to drive more revenue for the university, more ticket sales, more sponsorships.
I agree, but it's revenue that they already are making. They're making a bigger share of now.
So now you're now going to have an incentive for the coaches to go win and make this kind of money, because again, you're paying Brian Kelly $53 million, Jimbo Fisher $70 million, James Franklin $49 million to not coach anymore, when you could have a $10 million buyout, pay them more if they win more, and then they get more money to go and be good.
I was just expecting the incentives to not. I mean, a national championship coach getting a $20 million contract, that is, in my opinion, escalating a little bit further than what we're doing. And I wanted to approach this from both ways, and we spent a little time, rightfully so. I think that was a good conversation. But the other side I want to think of this at is the side of the agent, in which the coach is not going to take this. Most coaches, 90% of coaches won't take this, because the alternative is making $11 million a year, whether I go 2-10 or 10-2, and if you don't like it, then you're going to buy me out 100% of this contract. Like that is like it's ironclad guaranteed. I'm making $10 million a year. If Lane Kiffin signs an extension with Ole Miss, and they're going to bump him up to, I'm sure, $11 or $12 million a year at minimum. And what's the downside? I get fired and get 60.
So again, the buyout here is just, it stays at $10 million. I don't think
no, but I'm saying that's what if you choose this, you are giving up $60 million, whether you win or whether you lose. I don't think anybody's going to take that deal if you're a coach.
Again, like I've been saying all along, like the high ends are not going to go for this at all. That's my point the entire time. The Lane Kiffins, the Kirby Smarts, the Kevin DeBoers are not going to go for this. But this is a way to get like some of the up and coming coaches to come in to guarantee a $10 million buyout. You get more money if you become more competitive. I think that's where it needs to go. I think something like this is a great direction, because where we're at, the system we're at, you got a $90 million safety net where you can, if you suck, okay, cool, I still get paid $90 million. Like something like this needs to fix that. If you want to fix the competitiveness of college coaches, nothing's going to change. I am a real estate agent. Understand how it works. I get paid on commission. I want to go get the best deal that I possibly can, so my commission check is super high. That's what agents are doing. That's what coaches want, right? But this is a way to try and course correct some of that back to where you might have the resemblance of being able to like some competitive systems and help fix what is a massive buyout program.
Yeah, I don't know what the fix is. I don't know that there is an easy fix, but at some point you would have to think, if you are a university president or an athletic director, that you would just have to make up your mind, and they have to band together, almost unionize without, obviously the university athletic director is not going to start a union. But you've got to, you remember the talk that I had about the, what was it? Oh, it was the Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, where the NFLPA was colluding with owners to agree not to give quarterbacks max contracts. That's almost what you would have to do. It's like, hey, together as Power 4 schools, we are not signing a coach to this. And I know that we're going to have a lot of coaches that just say bye, but we cannot, to quote the great Tiger King, we will never financially recover from this.
Yeah.
If we continue to increase, because it's only increasing. When Lane Kiffin signs a contract, whether it be LSU, Florida, Ole Miss, Penn State, Idaho, wherever he goes, he's going to have a $60 to $70 million buyout, and that's just the price of doing business. At some point, they're going to have to start and say, like, listen, I'm not doing it. I cannot hamstring this. And that's why I think that LSU is probably going to have to go in a different direction. They are publicly saying they cannot do this anymore. And so they're going to have to either negate what they're saying and turn heel on this whole, this system's broken, or they're going to have to hire somebody cheaper.
Or it's going to start, it may not come from the athletic directors. The people who are going to have to make this change are the boosters and the people who are paying and funding these NILs and funding these athletic funds that are paying the coaches. Because, like, you're asking me to put up this money to pay the coach. You're asking me to put up this money to pay the players. Now I got to pay this coach $70 million not to coach and pay the next one $50 million to coach. Like, at some point, the boosters and athletic funds are going to have to be like, hey, Bubba, like, we're going to run out of money.
Yeah, it's my fear and my feeling that a lot of these people that they're going and talking to about this buyout, money is no option, and they just want to see the Tigers win on Saturday.
And that's fair. And that may be the case.
And if that's the case, if they're cutting the check,
by
all means.
As the show starts to wind down, we are going to give you our Grease poll here on this Thursday. Drew, I'll let you go first. I've got a heart out here in just a little bit, but I'll let you go first. Our Thursday edition of the Grease poll. Tell me what you got.
Yeah, it's been a couple weeks since we've done this. I feel like it's kind of starting to form. There's not really any teams that I feel like I left out. You can tell Miami is out of mine. But I felt pretty good with my 10 here. It was just the order in which I want to go with. Ohio State's been my number 1 all year. They just keep dominating. Texas A&M jumped to number 2. I've been really impressed with them. You know, they just laid the wood and started the fiery procession that happened in Baton Rouge, Louisiana that we've just been talking about on Saturday. They've been really impressive. Same with Indiana. Alabama, I think, is arguably the best team in football right now. Weird things happen when they play South Carolina for some reason, but you can't overreact to close wins. Sometimes it just happens. Georgia's number 5 only because they beat Ole Miss. Ole Miss is number 6. In front of Oregon, whose one loss is a home loss to Indiana. And a 10-point loss at that. There's just not really a good win there yet. So they've at 7. I'm going with the Doors at 8. It's a 3-way clump right there, 8 through 10. And dang it, Vandy's getting the nod. They've gone for so long being the butt of the joke. They're getting the nod, if for no other reason than I want to do it. They've got their only loss is a loss in which they lost by 14 to Alabama, and Diego Pavia turned the ball over twice in the red zone. Texas Tech's only losses with a backup quarterback, so I don't want to penalize them too much. If their quarterback's playing, they're just beating the brakes off of people. And Georgia Tech is undefeated in the ACC, leading the ACC. There's mine.
And mine it looks eerily similar to mine. I got Ohio State. I'm impressed by A&M. I had them jumping Indiana because they have more quality wins. What? Oh, geez.
That is literally the
exact
top
same.
7 is the exact
7
same.
Is the exact same. Yeah, and then I've got a little bit of
8. 8's the same.
So I've got Indiana slightly behind Texas A&M because A&M's got a ton more. Has just got better wins. I think Alabama is the best team in football, not named Ohio State right now, but I worry that Alabama is peaking a little early. College football is all about peaking at the right time. They've got the talent and the horses to get them there. I'm not overly worried about it because they had a scare against South Carolina when kooky things happened in October. That was another get-right game for them. I look for them to just blow the doors off of LSU this weekend and continue their run to the college football playoffs. Same thing, Georgia beat Ole Miss.
Didn't South Carolina go 0-4 in October?
They did, but it's still a thing. So I've got Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, Oregon, Vandy, all one-loss teams right through there. Very much a minutia. I do think Alabama's slightly better than the rest of that group, actually by a lot. I've got so it's next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend, then Alabama, LSU. But I got Georgia, Ole Miss slightly ahead just because Georgia beat them, like you said. I've got Georgia Tech at number 9, and I still got Miami hanging on at number 10. I think Miami is a good football team. They're going to go as Carson Beck goes. They got a ton of great athletes. They got an opportunity this weekend to go out and flex on SMU. who is literally out of 136 ranked defenses, they're 135th when it comes to the pass, because they can't defend the pass. But what they are is they're like top 5 in sacks, takeovers, and quarterback pressures. They're a terrible secondary, but they make up for it by getting after the quarterback. But I think Miami's going to beat them this weekend. Long story long. I still got Miami up there, but Carson Beck is going to be what holds Miami back. And I've been all in on Georgia Tech since August. I am still riding the Ramblin' Wreck. They're undefeated as we sit here on October 30th, Halloween Eve. They're still undefeated and running the table in the ACC. So give me the Ramblin' Wreck and Brent Key, who's going to get himself paid, speaking of paid, either at Georgia Tech or somebody's going to fork up to go get him, because his teams are tough and hard-nosed football teams. So that's our Grease poll for the week. Drew, of our polls, real quick, some FanDuel numbers for you. So we've looked at the quarters, we've looked at the semis. We are now looking at the odds to make the championship game. Ohio State is your odds-on favorite at plus 115. You see the rest of the list there. There's a ton of SEC teams in there. Alabama plus 330, A&M plus 400, Georgia plus 470, Ole Miss plus 800, and the Doors, baby, the Commodores plus 1,400. Drew, like, if you could take me back 10, 12 years ago and say, hey, in about a decade, Vanderbilt is going to be, maybe 5 years ago. Vanderbilt is going to be plus 1,400 odds to make the championship game. Like, I would think that there was an apocalypse where, like, the state of Alabama and Florida and South Carolina just went off into the ocean, because, like, there's no other rational explanation for them being that good. Plus 1,400.
All the rest of the SEC all went pro.
That's it.
Like, literally, Ole Miss and LSU and Alabama are now playing in the NFL.
That's it. They're in the AFC South now.
Right. Yeah, I like these. If I look at Ole Miss, I feel like that's probably about right. I don't know. Like, I would love to see an Ole Miss-Oregon matchup. I think that would be absolutely wild. Notre Dame's always going to be overvalued. And Miami's got more athletes than probably anybody in the country, not named Ohio State. You just can you keep Sid looking straight, you know?
Yeah, that's it. Keep his eyeballs pointed the same direction. But that's your college football poll, your college football final odds on FanDuel. And that's going to do it for our Thursday edition of the show. We will be back live tomorrow at 11 a.m. on Friday, talking Memphis Grizzlies game day, picking against a FanDuel spread as we get ready to head to Grind City Brewing on Saturday for college football Saturdays. Vandy, Texas at 11, Georgia, Florida at 2:30. We're at 1:30, and then Oklahoma and Tennessee at 6:30. It is the 901 Wing Festival. Come have some wings with us, hang out. It's going to be a beautiful Saturday for college football. In the meantime, go be a friend to somebody who needs a friend. And Drew, tell them why there are no refunds.
That's right, because with the $2, you always get what you pay for. Happy Thursday, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to the $2 Sports Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. We'll see you back here next time.